Hello and welcome. Today we have a VOD review on Oasis. We got a Diamond Winston player. I've never seen this video before, so I'll be commenting in real time. So let's get into it. You're running, let's see, you have the Zarya Winston, that's cool. You have the Ana Lucio and the Soldier Pharah. An interesting mix. Let's talk about how to play this as Winston. So typically, I get nervous when I do VOD reviews where the Winston or the diva has to play without, the other Winston or diva, if that makes sense. So sometimes I'll see like a, diva player and maybe she's the only tank and she just gets crushed. Or maybe I'll see a Winston who has to play with like, I don't know, a Reinhardt or a Roadhog and he gets crushed. And the reason is simple. A lot of times players get really used to a certain play style. Like, oh, okay, I'm a Winston and I play with Diva, Genji, Tracer like in 80% of my games. And then when a meta shifts or, the game changes a bit, players start playing different characters, then suddenly some players will fall apart and they're like, oh crap, like what do I do? Like what changed? Like why am I playing so badly? And it's because they're trying to play the same way they were playing before. So now you have no Genji, no Tracer, no Diva. You have a Zarya, which is good, but it's not the same style as you would play with a Diva. So hopefully that's not the case here. I haven't seen the video, so I don't know. But, hopefully Winston can play a little bit of a more reserved style because he doesn't have people to follow up on him like he does with the previous meta. Cool. Hope that makes sense. Let's fast forward a bit. Is there no sound? What? Oh, okay. All right, there's no sound. All right, that's cool. Works for me. Actually, no, that sucks, but that's okay. We'll do our best. Cool. So I like this already. You're already being reserved. You're not just jumping in there. That being said, your team just kind of clumped up here. That wasn't very smart. And then where was Pharah even? Oh, she's back there. And then she got dove on. Okay. So maybe a little bit too reserved. You probably could have started wrapping around this way, going this way. I definitely didn't want you just going onto the point, so I'm glad you didn't do that. But you probably want to go around this way and start pressing that side. Also, don't be afraid to just peek out a bit. Like, it's okay to peek out and see what your opponents are doing, right? In this case, you had almost no information. Okay, you saw a Winston bubble, but not much else. What else did you see? Did you see something else? Right there? Is that a diva? I'm not quite sure what I saw. Yeah, so don't be afraid to peek out a bit. You're still a tank. You're still allowed to, scout and see what to do and then, react accordingly. So I'm a little bit sad that you didn't at least just kind of peek out for some information. And then, yeah, it looks like they rotated around that way. Interesting. And your team, you kind of all, and this isn't necessarily your fault, your team just kind of clumped up in a ball on the side of the map and they got punished heavily for it. Let's see what happens. All right, so you're tangoing with this Winston. Oh, nice Ana grenade. Nice. Oh, bring it back. That was a really sloppy engagement on your opponent's part, especially after the pick. Actually, I just did a video about that yesterday. Nice. Very nice, very nice. Oh, I bet they're so angry. Okay, so I will say this. You didn't do anything dumb. Sometimes that wins games by just not making mistakes. That will win you games sometimes. You played a little too passive for my liking, but your enemies just made a ton of mistakes. They threw themselves at you in a very sloppy manner, and you guys punished them for it. So good on you for not doing what I said earlier, which was, just, oh, I'm Winston, I dive in because I have, Diva, Genji, and Tracer with me. So you didn't do that. Awesome. You get bonus points for that, and you won. So cool. Well, you won this round. Cool. So you just lost your Pharah. So actually, you're backing off, but I think you could have stayed in this general area. Like, post up around these little billboards or whatever the hell they are, and play around that. You're giving up a little bit too much space here, even though you are down a man. Ooh, that being said, I like that dive. So cool. And actually, I'll just leave it at that. Cool. But what you're doing so far is decent, so I like this. Go for the. Oh, actually, what was that reload? You still had 50. Oh, 39. Okay, actually, I don't mind this reload so much. A little early, but that's fine. You're trying to go for the kill onto Mercy, so it's okay. Ooh, what happened there? Did you get booped? Oh, yeah. Okay, you got booped. Oh, man. The FPS isn't so great. Okay. Carry monkey. Look for a target. Look for a target. No. Okay, you're going for the health back. That's fine. No. Oh. Okay. Mechanically, I think you need to work on... It just feels like you're making some silly mistakes with your jumps sometimes where you're not quite timing it and placing it correctly. That's going to come with practice, so we're not going to harp on that, but that's definitely holding you back a little bit. That's a good one. Okay, let's see if there's anything else we can talk about here. Oh, man, that was a really bad mistake. Let's go back earlier, actually, because... So, from right here... Okay, this is when your Farah died. Now, I would have liked to see you still press this area and, you know, just see how much space your opponents are willing to be scared to contest. You back off. You go for a different play. You back off, and then you wait for them to engage, and then you jump and counter that. This is actually a good play. I like this a lot. You just... Okay, so, like, right here, you saw the Mercy. She's right here. You go for the Widow instead. If you could stay onto this Mercy, I guarantee you kill her here. Almost certainly. Certainly. And if you have to, burn your Primal Rage to do it. This was a huge misplay, unfortunately. This fight, you probably just win this fight by doing this, straight up. Even though your opponent's got that pick. So, this play was excellent, and then, unfortunately, you just misprioritized your targets. So, that sucks. Cool. Alright. A little early on that bubble there. That bubble doesn't do a whole lot for your team. Don't think of bubbles so much as a defensive tool. Think of it as an offensive tool that enables your dive so that they're more potent. So when you are jumping in, boom, you throw down that bubble, and now you get a ton of time to put in a ton of offensive work. You're going to be, you know, damaging the heck out of people. Wow, FPS. And putting in work. Whereas if you use bubble kind of as a defensive tool, where like you do it to protect your teammates, like before your dive, it's first of all, it's not going to help your teammates very much because it doesn't have a lot of health, like a Reinhardt health, like a Reinhardt shield. And second, when you do dive, your dive is going to be kind of neutered. Like it's not going to have the same effect, the same strength as it would if you did have the shield. So cool. So definitely work on that. And there are times where you do have to use bubble defensively. Don't get me wrong, there are exceptions, but in general, it is an offensive tool, not a defensive tool. Okay, let's see. How are we doing? Cool. Oh, yep, get in there. Look for the Mercy. Look for the Mercy. There she is. Nice. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, no, wait, why'd you jump away from the opponents? Oh, my friend. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, no. Oh, nice. Okay, you timed it right. Nice. Okay, so, okay, I think I've seen enough to wrap up your VOD. So, I'll let this run. Okay, so a couple things. Like we just talked about, the shield thing. Use bubble defensively. On that note, or sorry, offensively. On that note, just now, you had the nano boost, and you probably didn't have to use your bubble that early into that fight. So, like, specifically here. Right here. Right there. If you were in danger of, like, an Ana sleep dart, then, okay, sure, this is definitely a good bubble. But there's not a lot here that can deal with you. So you're kind of free to just put in a ton of damage. So I would have liked to see you hold on to this bubble a little bit longer. Now, what else? Primal Rage usage. Just now, you got really scared of your opponents. I'm not quite sure why. Your job as Winston is to just be a disruptive force to allow your teammates to put in work. And then occasionally, when possible, corner someone into a corner and then just beat the heck out of them and ideally kill them. That's what you're looking to do with Primal Rage. Instead, it felt like you just kind of ran away, which is not what you needed to do in that situation. Your team needed you to distract while they killed things. And I think your team had recently lost a member, and that's probably why you got spooked. But you can't let that deter you, especially if you're committing to the Primal Rage. What else? Target prioritization. You seem to want to go for the Mercy, but you have problems doing it sometimes. Like we saw where you kind of dove the Mercy and the Widow, and then you kind of went for the Widow, or at least you looked at her, and then you kind of in that shuffle you lost the Mercy. I feel like your biggest problem is just your mechanics. I feel like in that sense, you're not quite timing and placing your jump packs correctly. So I don't want to turn this into a mechanic. I don't want to talk about mechanics right now because that'll take a while to explain. Instead, what I recommend is go on YouTube and find, a Winston streamer or some Winston guides that talk about the mechanics of how to jump. Like, make sure you know how to do short jumps with the S key. Make sure you know how to use rooftops to slide off of. To use roofs to slide off of. Well, that actually does a lot of good things for you. But anyways, there's lots of tactics and mechanics around jumping that I feel like you're not quite utilizing or that you're not aware about. And that's going to make it so much easier to get the targets that you want. Cool. So definitely work on that. What else? Primal rage usage. Positioning. Positioning. Your positioning seems pretty good, especially on this match because, well, like we talked about, you're not being too crazy with your dives because you didn't have the D.Va, the Genji, the Tracer. So I do like how conservative you were being. If you had the D.Va and the Tracer and the Genjis and whatever, like more of those types of characters, then I'd want you to be more aggressive in general. But obviously that's a case-by-case basis, so we can't quite theorize there. Cool. So I hope this was helpful. I do have a video that talks about Winston engagements if you want to look at that. I think it's pretty helpful. But I feel like that's not quite your problem. Your engagements aren't necessarily your problem here. Cool. So I hope this video was helpful. If you liked it, please like the video and please subscribe. Thank you.